There's stairs right over there. You don't have to hit you. Please make welcome now Mr. Curly Butts.
Morning to y'all. I'm glad to be here. Hope you are too. We'll start off with a little piece called The Outhouse this morning. Rob had went to the outhouse. He'd been there quite some time. Now and then he moaned and groaned. I knew the moment was prime. Up here in the Montana mountains, we got black and grizzly bears, coyotes, pumas, and wolverines, and the moose and rut will give you a scare. Well, I took a stick and I began to dig, making root noise outside that door by sounding like a pig. Then, like a creature with sharp claws, I began to scratch the outhouse wood. Not a sound was heard within. I knew I was getting him good. Then I shook that little building with all the strength I could muster. Old Rob yelled, "Hey, get out of here." I thought, "This'll fix you, Buster." For all the pranks Rob had played on me, I was even up to score. I started banging on the walls. My goodness, how he swore. Then I shook that little building with all the strength I could muster. Old Rob yelled, "Hey, get out of here." I thought, you messed up my show. Anyway, Rob had recognized my voice, so I said, I better hang it up by now. Old Rob left that outhouse, still frowning from concentration. He said, "Curly, I should be mad as hell, but you cured my constipation." Thank you. Anyway, to the ladies, so you plan to marry a cowboy? Well, let me tell you, hon, your days of sleeping in are gone. You'll be up to greet the sun. No sense in fixing fancy meals. For him, that's plumb crazy. A cowboy likes nothing better than tater, steak, and gravy. He may teach you to shoot his gun or even ride his horse, but don't be messing with his hat. That's grounds for divorce. He doesn't give a hoot about culture things. He loves open space and air, the sound of honky-tonk music, and rodeo's festive fare. He'll dehorn cattle and round them up, then polishes his saddle and tack. But don't make plans for nightlife, dear. Comes dark, he's hitting the sack. And don't make plans for vacations, no long weekends, to spend some time in town. Your host will be dashed when he comes in with the news, the windmill's down. Then he'll surprise you with a kiss, even though he has a chew. A slap on the butt and a great big smile. That's the Cowboys. I love you. Very well. Most of us know that there's a National Finals Rodeo in Nevada every year. This little piece is for grandpas. It's called Partners. There's a National Finals in my backyard through the eyes of my only grandson. That old broom is a roping horse who has made many 10-second runs. Now that old mop is really a bronc, the rankest we've ever seen. He makes the last go in the big rodeos 2 or 3 times a week. Now that old dog is really a bull, a rank spinning son of a gun. And those bottle caps on my back gate is really the buckles he wins. Some days he wins all 5 events and travels the nation turnpike. That new pickup he travels in, I bet you thought was a bike. That bulldog, he's never been beaten. His steer's that old yellow cat, and that little stew's his dogging horse. And when it's through, it's 4 seconds flat. How do I know where he gets all his dough? Why, I announce the performance today, the high marks he rides, and the fast calves he ties, and why each go-round pays. We're partners, you see, in this fantasy, whether he draws good or bad. But if you can't see the same things I see, it's because you're not his granddad. Thank you. I gripped the hand and felt the sand that made that cowboy tough. His grip was long, sincere and strong, heart callous, lean and rough. Although those hands were up in age, 3 decades past their prime, I'm betting they'd work circles around young ones any time. Those hands spoke of fixing fence, tending cows and fixing fence and such, hours shoveling horse stalls, though any time's too much. Those hands spoke of tender things that really did not show, like rubbing down a newborn calf that came in last spring's snow. Gnawed and vain, tobacco stain, red face from the sun, digging deep to find $1 if you thought you needed one. I kind of thought the cards now dealt would be his final hand. Frail, no, he would not throw. He thought the game was grand. Then realization hit me, the truth I stumbled on. Life's 8-second bell had sounded, but the cowboy still held on. Thank you. There's a little story I like to tell about Gus was raised on the ranch all his life, and he reached about over 55 years old. He started hearing stories about a man should go to a doctor for a little checkup. So he made an appointment, got to the doctor's office, doctor checked him over. Pretty soon, as he reached for the rubber glove on the shelf, he said, "Gus, loosen the belt." He said, "What?" He said, "You heard me." Pretty soon, Gus is jumping around. He said, "Gus, you're a healthy man. You ain't got nothing to worry about. But turn around one more time." He said, "What for?" He says, "I lost my glove." Okay. Oh, Gus said, "No problem. Here it is." Anyway, why does a cowboy start to write? Many times I've been asked, why does a cowboy start to write, and will his writing last? I spent some time pondering this as the years drifted by, so if you'll sit and rest a bit, I'd like to tell you why. When you spend a lifetime partner doing the things that you love best, there's a thing inside you can't deny, and that's the truth about the West. He wouldn't trade a single day for the memories he has in store, for the men he's met, both young and grown, would fill a cowboy's lore. He's ridden herd and mended fences, cut and branded steers, been wet and dry with grit in his eyes when the trail dust finally clears. He's lived outside under starry skies with a campfire burning bright, singing cowboy tunes to Perry Moon and sing face to God at night. So it's no surprise to wonder why a cowboy starts to write. And many a time I hope and pray that I always find a home. Not very good, thank you. I blew that in two. Okay, we'll try one more time. This is the world's smartest vet. My diploma hanging on the wall, my name outside on the sign. I'm the new country vet, and so far nothing has died. I've been to school till my head is full of nearly 1 million facts. I'm at ease with A to Z's. I've been educated to the max. Surgery, medicine, dentistry too. Reproduction, large and small. Laboratory procedures, yeah, I can do it all. So why am I standing here up to my knees in mud behind this rusty cattle chute caked with all kinds of crud? The green and brown stuff fills the air. I'm covered from head to toe. The last cow peed in my boot. That reminds me, I gotta go. But there's no time for that now. This cow's hard to diagnose. I'm up to my shoulder and still no calf. Over there, almost. Pregnant, I said. 6 months, and it's written in the book. The boss man looks me in the eye. He gives me a funny look. The hired hand is rolling on the ground. My gut is gripped with fear. It seems the world's smartest vet has found a pregnant steer. Thank you. All cowboy poetry is not comical. I take it seriously. This piece is mostly true story, written by a Montana rancher about 1943 when the world was all messed up. It's messed up today too.
Amen.
When our son went into service, he took me hard by the hand. He said, "Dad, take care of the livestock, and when it's over, we'll build the brand." But while I'm away from the homeland and out with the Army Air Force, please do me one favor. Take care of my albino horse. Oh, what a picture they were together. That spirited horse and boy, so proud, so tall in a saddle. His eyes sparkling with joy. The infrequent letters that he wrote us always began with the same discord. "Hello, folks, how are you? And how is my albino horse?" For quite some time, we received no word. He was right in the middle of the fray, till I received that letter of sadness that aged me and darkened my day. The Army regrets to inform you, my heart filled with remorse. No more on this earth shall I see him, riding his albino horse. Oh Lord, mount him superbly. Let him gallop over those heavenly plains. Give him a seat in the saddle, and let him hold onto the reins. And when I ride to the gates of the mittens, I hope to be mounted, of course. Please let him be there to meet me, riding his albino horse. Thank you. Well, this is a little repeat, but I'll do it one more time. I'm not much for shopping or going into town. Except for cattle shipping time, I hardly can be found. But the day came when I had to go, and I left the kids with Ma. But before I left, she asked me to pick her up a bra. Without thinking, I said, "Sure, how hard could that job be?" I leaned down and kissed her and told her I'd be back by 3. Well, I'd done the things I had to do, but I began to regret ever offering to buy that thing. Put me in a sweat. Well, I walked into that lady's shop, my hand tapped over my eyes. I didn't want to take a chance on being recognized. Well, I walked up through that lady clerk. I didn't hem a haw. I told her right out straight, I was here to buy a bra. From behind me, I heard chuckles. I turned around to see every lady in that store pointing right at me. "Well, what kind would you be shopping for?" Well, I just scratched my head. I'd only seen one kind before. I thought bras is bras, I said. "Well, sir, that's where you're wrong." Then she said, "Just follow me." And like a dog, I tagged along. She led me down the alley where bras on display. I thought my jaws would hit the floor when I saw that lingerie. They had all these different styles that I'd never seen before. I thought I'd die before I left that store. They had bras you wore for 18 hours and bras that crossed your heart. Bras that lift and separate, and that's just a start. They had bras that felt like you wore nothing at all, and bras you drank to when you're small. Well, I finally made my mind up. I picked the black and lacy one. I told the gal to bag it up, and I figured I was done. But then she asked me for the size. Well, I didn't hesitate. I knew those measurements by heart. 6 7/8. 6 7/8, she cried. "You surely can't be right." "Oh, yes, ma'am, I'm positive. I measured them last night." It must have took her by surprise. I thought she'd go into shock when I told her my wife's bust is the same as my hat size. That's what I measure with. I thought it was only fair. But if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, ma'am. That brought another stare. By now, the crowd had gathered. They were all cracking up when she asked to see my hat to measure for the cup. When she finally got it figured, I gave the gal her pay. I tipped my hat to them all and wished them a very good day. Now, my wife had heard the story before I ever got home. 15 women had called her on the telephone. She was still laughing, but then I didn't care. She don't ask and I don't shop for ladies' underwear. I thank you people for watching. Very well. Buck, hey Bucky. I got a quick story while he's busy, I guess. This old granny and gramps out there on the ranch. She got on to the old man about fixing that seat in the toilet. He said he couldn't find nothing wrong with it. So he said, come on, I'll show you. She went out there and there's one little bitty crack in that seat. So he dropped down, see how he's going to repair this seat. He wore kind of a long goatee. But he rolled back and he caught his goatee in that little crack there. She says, hurt, don't it? Okay. Go on, sir.